Well, finally tonight a summary of the Inside Ulster news. A man has been shot dead in front of his wife in North Belfast. It happened shortly after 7 o'clock at a fish and chip shop on Lever Street in the New Lodge area of the city. The victim was working in Delaney's chip shop with his wife when two men came in through the back, one of them armed with a handgun. He was shot in both kneecaps and also in the chest. Police say no customers were in the shop at the time. It's understood the couple only took over the business a fortnight ago, and detectives say they've yet to establish an exact motive for the attack. The victim is known to have had past Republican links, but was more recently known to police for other criminal activities. And police at North Queen Street want to hear from anyone who saw any suspicious activity around the Ashton shopping centre. They also want to hear from anyone who saw a red-coloured Montego taxi, number RIB 6905, being hijacked at Sparmount Street shortly before 6 p.m, or anyone who witnessed it being abandoned after the shooting at Easton Crescent. A judge in America has granted bail to 3 convicted IRA men fighting extradition. They were among 38 prisoners who escaped from the maze in 1983. Lawyers for Kevin Barry Art, Paul Brennan and Terence Kirby had argued that it was unfair to hold them any longer while they await extradition hearings. In Dublin, 2 IRA men were released on bail of £70,000 each. Nessun Quinlivan and Pierce Macaulay, who escaped from Brixton prison, are appealing against extradition warrants to Britain to face terrorist charges. The High Court judge ordered them to live with relatives and report daily to Garda stations. Sinn Féin has urged the International Arms Commission to examine shootings by the police and army in Northern Ireland and has refused to discuss IRA weapons in isolation. The party president, Gerry Adams, said their talks were constructive and positive. The body was also addressed by the Irish government and the Catholic and Church of Ireland primates when it sat in Dublin. The Ulster Unionist and DUP leaders are predicting an election to an assembly in the new year. Both David Trimble and Ian Paisley had separate meetings with the Secretary of State, as did an alliance delegation. Further talks are planned for later this week. The police still haven't released the name of the 49-year-old man found shot dead in a field near Crawfordsburn, County Down. Another man found nearby is in hospital with gunshot wounds to the back and neck. Detectives are still trying to establish the circumstances surrounding the incident. Arsonists have burned a Banbridge primary school to the ground. The 51 pupils at Milltown Primary on the Lurgan Road have been given an early Christmas break, while the Southern Education Board tries to find them alternative accommodation. The board chairman, Councillor Archie McKelvey, said he'd nothing but contempt for people who could mindlessly interrupt the education of children and disrupt the community. That was the news. Now a look at the weather. Staying cloudy overnight with outbreaks of rain or drizzle in many places. The minimum temperature plus 3 degrees Celsius with light to moderate easterly winds becoming fresh tomorrow. The maximum tomorrow 5 degrees. And the further outlook for Wednesday, showery with sleet or snow over hills. Now some engineering information. Just a reminder that there may be some interruptions to transmissions on BBC One tomorrow, and that's as essential maintenance work is carried on throughout the day.
Oh, I'm a real dummy. So what do I do as a pedestrian? I step straight into the road without looking.
Hey, watch out!
There goes a cyclist nearly off his bike. Look, that car's had to brake suddenly. Whoops. Now, if I wasn't such a dummy, I'd always stop, look, and listen before stepping out. I'd find a safe place to cross where I can see the road clearly and where everyone else can see me. Don't be a dummy. Consider others. Remember, you're not the only one on the road.
That was a public information film. Well, now with the time rapidly approaching 9 minutes to 2, BBC One has come to the end of today. We're back in the morning, of course. Breakfast News is on the air at 7 o'clock. It's presented tomorrow by Justin Webb and Sally Magnuson. And of course BBC Radio Ulster stays on the air through the night with news and much else besides, and that's in tandem with the BBC World Service. But in the meantime, from me, John Ash, and all of us here on BBC One Northern Ireland, it's a very good night to you.